Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Well, today is a little bit a different video because as you can see I'm here in the open nature together with my dog and we're having a nice walk, and I thought, this is a very great opportunity to talk about the car that I currently own, the 114i from BMW. And you may or may not know, I have big plans with it. I'm going to build quite a lot of things on the car. I'm going to mod it quite hard, and a lot of people tell me that why didn't you just buy a 135i with all that money? And in some cases what they say is true. I could have bought a 135i, but what the other thing is that they don't know is that I spent the money on a 135i on this 114i on a period of more than 4 years. And if that meant I had to wait another 4 years to get a 135i if I haven't got the 145i bought right now. So let me tell you, why didn't I wait to buy the 135i and I got the 114i instead? Why did I do that? Well, originally it wasn't the plan to buy a 114i. I wasn't planning on doing that. I wanted the 135i, that's for sure. But why did I get it? Well, it's very simple. The Black 1 series, it just started to, costing too much to maintain. The differential was whining again, so it needed a new differential. Okay, the brake pads and discs front and rear, they were gone. The rear tires, they were also gone. The car needed new oil. There was something wrong with the gearbox because it wasn't shifting right, and the head gasket was leaking. At least there was oil in my coolant, and that's not a good thing. And all those things combined made me think, because fixing all that would have cost me a few thousands of euros. And if it was a more special car, then I would have done those costs. But this was also another problem. One, it's a 160i with natural aspirated 1.6 engine, and the thing was just pretty slow. It didn't move at all, and the engine didn't have any potential. And the taste for something faster was very, very big, and I couldn't wait another few years to to drive that car and just don't have fun. I just couldn't do that. And the car was having its mileage. It was that 155,000 kilometers when I sold it, and for a petrol engine that's quite a lot. Modding it, what was a stupid idea, because the car was 11 years old, had higher mileage, and what was the point of it anyway? Once I was done with the car modding, then I must sell the car because the engine is total write-off. So that's all the reasons that I actually got rid of the 116i, with actually a lot of pain in my heart, because I really loved that car. It looked good, it drove amazingly. The only problem was it was just so slow. If it was, like I said, a 130i, I would have done those costs and kept that car. I would definitely have done that, but unfortunate, spending that much money on a 116i just wasn't worth it. So that's why I got the 114i, because I was thinking, if I could sell a car as it is right now before it needs all the big repairs, then it's worth a lot more money. If I drive a few months with it, then I need to do all the repairs, I lose a lot of money, or I sell the car with all the things that are broken on it, and it wouldn't have been worth anything. So that's why I sold the car to a garage before anything really broke. That was really a smart move, because I still got 5,000 euros from it, and I paid 8,000 euros from it 2 years ago. So that meant that I lost 3,000 euros on 2 years, which isn't that bad at all when you got a new car and you drive it out of the garage, you already lose quite a lot more money. So that was actually not a big deal. But then at the moment that I sold the 116i, I didn't have the money to buy the one M35i. So I had two things that I could do. I could buy a shit box and just, you know, kept saving money to buy a 1M35i, or I bought something what I could pay then and just have a little bit left over for other things like insurance and other stuff. So I chose the latter because I didn't want to drive a shit box when I drove that 1 Series. So because you never want to make a downgrade on your car, so that's why I didn't do it. There is a RC playing clip over here. You can really hear it. It's actually pretty cool. It's pretty close here. I can hear the engines. But yeah, so that's why I chose the 114i. So meanwhile, I'm saving up for a 1M40i, which actually isn't true, because I'm spending all my money on the 114i. And with all the money I spent on the 114i, plus the money I bought the 114i from, I could have bought a 135i stock, and that's true. But still, I would have done all the modifications that the car had. Maybe I would have done like a few less modifications, like, you know, the M package wasn't necessary, the angel lights were also not necessary. But otherwise, I would still have lowered it. I would still have put a back box delete, still a cold air intake. I would still have done a remap and quite some modification. I think I would still have done 80% of the modifications I have planned right now. So yeah, that's not really, you know, a big save or something in money. And so after that, now I can make cool content with a 149, which also has 220 horsepower. And, you know, I have actually a more budget car, and maybe that attracts a little bit more people, because you see quite some 114i's on the internet, but you see quite less 114i's on the internet. So maybe, you know, that's also a more interesting car for younger people, because it's more acceptable for most of them. The car has 102 horsepower stock, so if your parents want to buy you one, or you want to buy yourself one, and your insurance says it's 102 horsepower, so that's fine, then you're fine. That's also a reason why I bought mine. For starters, I'm gonna talk about purely on money. So I paid my 114i 14,000 euros. One M35i with about the same mileage and, you know, kilometers and options. You know, I wanted a 5 doors manual, so with the same kilometers and about the same build year, would have costed me between 25 or 30,000 euros, which is already 10-15,000 euros more than I could actually afford, and that's only the car. Now my insurance, I pay 300 euros a year, which isn't that bad. But on the 1M35i, it would have been, well, above 1,500 euros each year, which is also quite a lot of money. So then you know, our government, they don't like you driving big engines here over Belgium. So when you buy a new car, you have to pay a tax when you write the car in for a new owner. And how bigger your engine is and how more horsepower you have, how more you have to pay. Of course, a 1.6 engine with 102 horsepower doesn't have to pay as much as a 3-liter engine with 320 horsepower. So the difference is I need to pay that tax once. Is 140 euros for the 114i, and for the 1M35i it was 1,100 euros. So there's also another 1,000 euros difference. So then we're talking about the yearly tax you have to pay to drive the car. For my car it's 270 euros, for 1M35i it's 800 euros. So if you calculate all those things, because I work for it, I don't have ad revenue from all these videos, because I have 100 videos and only 4 videos have more than 1k views. So I'm really not successful on YouTube. So I have to work for it myself, pay for it myself. I have a limited budget, and you know, that's why a 1M35i was just too expensive for me. Also the tuning parts for 1M35i are more expensive, so probably the build on the car would have been more expensive also for quite some parts. And yes, it would have been a much more epic car because it's a 3-liter 6-cylinder. It can be tuned to 400 horsepower easily. You know, that's a good, cool thing. And you get more for your money, but I just couldn't buy it at the moment. And that's why I chose a 140i, and I decided to mod that car over a period of 3 to 4 years. Because I can pay a 1M35i in 4 to 5 years, but I can pay it at the moment right now, and there's a problem with that. And also, you know, why didn't you just get a credit for the car? And that's true, I actually did for the 140i, but the bank didn't accept a credit proposal for the 1M35i, but they did for the 140i. Also a big problem. So at the end of the day, you know, the 1M35i still would have cost me quite a lot more money than the 140i, because if you think about it, the car, if you don't get a car, yearly tax is 800 euros plus insurance is 1,500 euros, which comes across 2,300 euros every year. Now with this car, it's 570 euros every year. So that's another 1,800 euros I save every year. Do that 4 times and you save another 7,000 euros. So you start getting me, running this car was way more expensive. So yeah, I mean, maybe in the future, but there's still a much bigger difference in running a 140i and modding it than a 140i and modding it. It's just some people, they just only see the price of the car and they don't look further than that. They don't look at, you know, buying a car and driving a car are 2 different things. And keeping a car running is also another big thing. Maintenance costs are also much more higher. So yeah guys, that is actually why I bought for the moment 140i above 1M35i. Very simple, I couldn't buy one. I'm not rich enough. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye.